Connie Marble, you stand convicted of assholism. The proper punishment will now take place. Look pretty for the picture, Connie.
Pink Flamingos is the ultimate queer camp classic. It was released in the early 70s, it was provocative then, and it remains provocative today. No wonder the original poster displayed the tagline, "An exercise in poor taste." Our main character is Babs Johnson, who lives in a trailer park with her family. Connie and Raymond Marbles compete with Babs to see who can be the filthiest. So if you're easily offended, this movie is not for you. The whole point of the movie is to be offensive. Pink Flamingos is not for children and it's not for prudes. It's very graphic. That's what John Waters wanted. He wrote, produced, and directed Pink Flamingos, and the result is countercultural at its core. In this video, we will dig deeper into this queer classic. We'll explore the plotline of this movie, if you can call it that. We'll talk about its distribution, its reception, and the people involved. Make sure to give this video a like, it really helps with the algorithm, thank you. The movie features Divine as Babs Johnson, a drag queen and notorious criminal who has been forced to go into hiding since tabloids dubbed her the filthiest person alive, a title she proudly embraces.
How could anyone be filthier than Divine?
If you're a regular on my channel, you might recognize Divine as the drag queen who inspired The Little Mermaid. We saw this in a previous video. In the real world, Divine was Harris Milstead's drag persona. Divine's involvement with this movie is somewhat meta. Sometimes the movie breaks the fourth wall, like this voiceover from John Waters, who says Divine is not only the filthiest person in the world, but she is also the filthiest actress in the world.
But not only is she the filthiest person in the world, she is also the filthiest actress in the world.
Other peculiar characters include Babs' mother Eddie, who spent her life in a baby crib and is obsessed with the Eggman. In this universe, the Eggman goes door to door like the milkman would. Babs also lives with her son Crackers and companion Cotton. The protagonists of this movie are Connie and Raymond Marble. Described as jealous perverts, their goal is to surpass Babs as the filthiest people in the world. They run a black market baby ring and sell babies to lesbian couples.
As you know, we run a baby ring.
In an attempt to locate Babs, the Marbles enlist a spy to seduce her son Crackers. That's how they learn about Babs' whereabouts and upcoming birthday party. The Marbles send Divine an obscene gift for her birthday and proclaim to be the filthiest people alive.
Happy birthday, fatso!
Ah!
Divine is not thrilled that someone may have taken her position. She declares that whoever sent the package must be punished with death.
And then they must die!
Before Divine's birthday bash, the Eggman proposes marriage to Eddie, she accepts, and later in the movie, they get married. The Marbles spy on Divine's birthday party and witnessed how filthy she really is. Her guests give her poppers, vomit, a pig's head, and more obscene gifts. Entertainment is provided for Divine's guests, all too graphic to show here on YouTube. The Marbles are outraged and decide to call the police, who appear at Divine's trailer. Let's just say that it does not end well for law enforcement. Later, Divine and Crackers break into the Marbles' house and lick their furniture. They also uncover their perverse baby ring scheme. Without getting too much into graphic details, let's just say that Divine and Crackers sabotage the Marbles' scheme. Meanwhile, the Marbles set fire to Divine's trailer, and when they return home, their furniture rejects them. It's implied that Divine cursed the furniture when she licked it, somewhat taking this movie into the supernatural realm. When Divine finds out her trailer was burned to the ground, she kidnaps the Marbles and summons the media to witness their trial and execution.
Gentlemen, get ready.
Divine convicts the Marbles of, quote, first-degree stupidity and, quote, assholism, and they are executed.
The biggest news event of the year.
The movie ends on a now infamous scene of Divine eating dog feces, prompting this voiceover from Waters.
Watch, as Divine proves that not only is she the filthiest person in the world, she is also the filthiest actress in the world.
If you made it this far into the video, please consider subscribing. I cover many queer topics, mostly during Pride Month. You can watch last year's Pride playlist, which includes my Brokeback Mountain video, and stay tuned for the next video. We'll discuss the banned book Fun Home. John Waters and Divine were invited to Letterman in the early 1980s. They mentioned Pink Flamingos and other of his movies. It helps us understand the motivation behind Waters' filmmaking.
Filmmaker John Waters calls Divine the most beautiful woman in the world. Since Divine is a man, John will have to explain this statement later in the show. Divine has appeared in such films as Pink Flamingos, Female Trouble, and Polyester.
I was born to be cheap.
Pink Flamingos.
Then we had
was
Mondo Trasho,
Mondo
Multiple
Trasho.
Maniacs, Pink Flamingos, Female Trouble.
Now
Desperate Living.
these are at the time and still are cult films. They play late at night and generally X-rated or.
We didn't have any. There was no rating that could really apply to
I
our
see.
film. I find humor in all the things that are terrible about America and things that people have anxiety about. But the first step of getting rid of anxiety is to laugh at it. So I think they're very healthy movies.
When you say things that are wrong with America, you mean economically or sociologically?
Well, I mean
or
crime. There's a lot of crime in my films, and
you also mentioned that to you, if you can make somebody throw up, that's like a standing ovation.
well, my early films, yeah. Because I've had theaters where they actually put sawdust down the lobby because of that problem. But that was.
One thing because of the carpet we wouldn't show this film.
But that was the early films. We,
Yeah.
we were made on so cheap a budget, $10,000.
Yeah.
We had to get people's attention, and that was how to do it.
Chatting with Mr. and Mrs. America, and this is John Waters, the motion picture director, producer, and Divine. John, have you ever felt the need to do anything that was of great social relevance?
No, I haven't at all, because I think being socially redeeming is so very boring. You know, I'm just trying to make people laugh. That's the only reason I ever pick up a movie camera.
By the way, John Waters and Divine worked on other projects together. Perhaps most famous among them is Hairspray. Yeah, the famous Broadway musical and the movie starring Zac Efron is a remake of John Waters' 1988 movie starring Divine. Pink Flamingos is also the first of 3 movies dubbed, quote, the Trash Trilogy. Pink Flamingos was the first, released in 1972, then Female Trouble was released in 1974 and also features Divine. Desperate Living is the last of the trilogy and was released in 1977. This one does not feature Divine. Let me know if we should also cover these movies on my channel. Upon its release, Pink Flamingos gained popularity among underground cinema enthusiasts in many cities, especially after the success of Waters' previous movie called Multiple Maniacs, which also featured Divine. A small company named New Line Media initially picked up Pink Flamingos, and it was later distributed by another company in New York City with screenings at midnight on Fridays and Saturdays at the Elgin Theater. The movie developed cult following among film enthusiasts. Some people would repeatedly come to watch the movie and recite all of the lines during the screenings. Pink Flamingos also provided a sense of community for queer people. Perhaps that's why modern queer theorists regard it as one of the most significant queer films ever made.
Wednesday, October 30th, 1974. Divine comes to Philadelphia. The fabulous lady, accompanied by her director, John Waters, has arrived to commemorate the first anniversary of Pink Flamingos. This so-called exercise in bad taste was just beginning its second year as the midnight attraction at TLA. In this rare personal appearance, Divine discusses her career as ingenue, as well as her latest epic, Female Trouble. Outside, hundreds of screaming fans have been waiting in line for hours just for one glimpse of the Queen of Filth.
In December of 2021, the Library of Congress inducted Pink Flamingos into the National Film Registry. However, the movie was also challenged with bans in its early days. Pink Flamingos was initially banned in some countries, including Switzerland, Australia, and some regions of Canada and Norway. If you're a regular on my channel, you know I oppose bans on media. I have a whole series about banned books, and in fact we'll talk about Fun Home later this month. With that being said, you must be warned if you want to watch Pink Flamingos. It's not for everyone, but it's definitely noteworthy. and it paved the way for many other queer media. It's a transgressive movie, it's countercultural, unlike other queer movies that I have covered on my channel, so click the top link to watch my Brokeback Mountain video and click the bottom link for more. Thank you.